Hello, I'm John Krieger, and this is a demonstration of the features of Saturn's State Weatherization Field Guide that you see here. The table of contents, or TOC, is in the left column, and the other navigation icons are on the top row here. Next to the TOC is the index icon, then the glossary icon, the home icon, and the printer icon. Far over here on the right, we have the search function. So users can access the field guide from a desktop computer, a laptop, a tablet, or a smartphone. You can see that the view will change as you shrink it and make it larger again. There are so many different ways of navigating this 650-page field guide. There's the HTML version, and it's the fastest way to access information. The PDF field guide is also a good choice if you don't have a cell phone signal or internet connection. The fastest way to find something is usually the search function, which you see here on the upper right. Search is represented by a magnifying glass icon in the other views. Let's try searching for multifamily because there is some new content in the field guide on that topic. So I'm going to type in multifamily here. It's already here because I've done it before. Let's go to multifamily water heater and look in here. Underneath the headings, we have these SWS details. We can click on any of them and go to the SWS. Let's go down here to multifamily circulation systems for water heating and go to pipe insulation. That takes us directly to the SWS where we can read the different specifications. All these specifications we've incorporated into the field guide. So they're already there, but if you want to check the alignment, that's when you go to the NREL website. So let's close that down and we go back to where we started. And let's try the index now. We go to the index. Let's type in ventilation, which was there before. And here we've got in the index under A, we've got attic ventilation. Under S, we have supply ventilation. Let's go to exhaust ventilation and whole house ventilation systems. That takes us to exhaust ventilation in the exhaust chapter, which is chapter 9. And we have a reference to the SWS. Then we have some cross references here. Now let's try the glossary. We go to the glossary and we're going to type vent in there, V-E-N-T, definition. And the B vent is a double wall pipe for gas and propane fired combustion appliances. Now let's go back to the table of contents. Let's start with chapter 1, health and safety. We'll expand that and we'll go to worker health and safety. And let's go to hazardous materials and look what we have here. So hazardous materials, we're talking about PPE here. And we have a link that goes outside of the field guide to the OSHA website. And this is the part of the OSHA website that talks about hazard identification and assessment. Let's close that. We go back to hazardous materials. Here we have a training video. So we go to the training video. We could watch this video, but let's not. There's 35 different training videos that are part of of our field guide. What about respiratory protection? Okay, now we're at the back at the OSHA website. on the section on respiratory protection. Let's close that, go back to the table of contents and go to chapter 2. Now, let's go to the purposes of an energy audit. And here we're getting into some administrative topics. This section looks at the purposes of an energy audit, energy auditing judgment and ethics, and a couple of other topics. We've tried to include all the general DOE auditing and inspecting guidance in this chapter, chapter 2. Now let's go to chapter 9. Let's go to the last topic and go to SWS alignment. And here we have cross-references to this chapter. And here we have the SWS details, and they're all back in this chapter. So if we go to exhaust ventilation, we're going to see the same SWS links as we see back there in the summary. So we go to exhaust ventilation, and let's go back to the SWS alignment in exhaust ventilation, and let's go to the SWS itself. So we're in the subtopic exhaust ventilation. Here's all the subtopics below that, and we could go to any of them to the specifications. We can open and close specifications and see whether the content in the specification is represented in the content of the field guide, which it is. This is a good tool for the state monitors and the federal representatives that monitor the weatherization program. It's a very fast way to check the alignment. Let's go now to chapter 12. In chapter 12, let's go to testing air barriers. In testing air barriers here, we've got a table that talks about what materials are air barriers and what materials aren't air barriers. And there's a bunch of illustrations on how to test air barriers. Let's pretend that we're an energy auditor and we need to educate the crew about simple pressure diagnostics. I'll click the printer icon, and up comes this dialog box for us, and it has all the pages in this chapter. Okay, we're going to save it as a PDF so we can send it out. And in pages, it shows that we're going to include all of them in the PDF, but let's not. Let's go custom, and let's print 2 through 4, and we'll put a comma there, and then we'll put 6. So we're going to print pages 2 through 4 and then page 6 also. Let's save that, and then we've created a PDF. So let's look at that PDF and bring it over here. So we can take this PDF, we can put it in a work order file, or we can email it to a crew member. Now let's go to the mobile home chapter and look at some cross-references. And the reason why we use cross-references is in mobile home heating, we have a whole lot of relevant information in chapter 8, which is our heating and cooling chapter. So let's look at this cross-reference here. We can tell it because it looks like a hyperlink. Let's go to gas burner safety and efficiency service. Now, what I really want is I want to look at some combustion standards. So we're now in chapter 8. So let's go to another part of chapter 8, which has these combustion standards. And then I can check my testing and what I'm supposed to have and what I do have based on my testing. Now we can go back to gas burner safety and efficiency service in chapter 8. And finally, we go back to mobile home heating where we started. Let's take a quick look at the video library here at the very bottom. Click the video library, and now we see, based on each chapter, what videos that we can use to train crews, say on the job or at the workplace. And we can go into any of these videos, and takes us right to YouTube. We can watch this video, and then we can close the video down. We come back to our video library. If you start from the simple navigation methods that we've discussed here, using the search function, the table of contents, the index, the glossary, hypertext cross-references, and SWS links, you'll be on your way to fast and easy information access. You can use the guide during your in-house trainings. With just a few clicks, you can get some really specific step-by-step illustrated procedures that have more than 100 rounds of critical review. This 650-page document isn't just a field guide. It's a powerhouse of training and education for your state weatherization program.